So there you are, I was wondering where you got to. Here we are again in Liverpool doing the second Studio Without Walls, live at Studio 2 at Parr Street. Now, many will say that sometimes all you need is some loud music and a beer. Well, I got my beer and we need some rock and roll, but we're actually going to have some rock and soul. What is that, you ask? Well, we're going to go inside and we're going to check out Xander and the Peace Pirates. So stick around, I'll see you in a while. Welcome to Studio 2, Parr Street in Liverpool. We are here for our second Studio Without Walls. I'm joined by Stu and by Keith from Xander and the Peace Pirates. How you doing, guys?
Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
So first of all, I want to catch up with you about basically growing up in Liverpool and what brought you to the point of basically wanting to be in a band. What was you listening to? Kind of under the influence. Tell me about, you know, when you were growing up, what kind of music was you into?
We didn't actually grow up in Liverpool. We moved here in our late teens, so I moved here when I was 18 to go to college, community college in Greenbank. And then I think Keith started to visit over the summers, come up, jam and that. We'd always jammed at home, you know, we'd never been in a band, but we always played together as guitarists. And I think ultimately Keith was studying crew or Manchester.
Yeah, I was studying a BA Honours in art, visual art and music, which was crap. So I decided to give that a miss, and then ended up coming to Liverpool.
Yeah, came to the community.
Studying at the community college where Stuart went to.
Yeah, so although we didn't grow up, but we did sort of grow up as musicians because we've been players at home, playing an instrument, never been in bands or done anything. So when we moved to Liverpool was when we started being in not bands together but bands separately and just playing.
Yeah, we were doing different projects for years. We were involved in different things like the session playing with different bands and session singing and stuff, and just cabaret bands really.
Was it? So what brought you together then? What made you kind of think, you know what, let's hook up, let's do this?
It was when we split up with our partners at the time, wasn't it? So it would have been about 2006, wasn't it? 2005, 6?
Yeah, 2005. Right. Whenever the video, if you look on YouTube, whenever the videos first went up is when we started.
And we moved into a flat together and then started just coming up with ideas and recording stuff. I had a little Yamaha desk, a little 16 tracks, so we'd record onto that. And, so that's when it started. And Stu, oh God, Adam.
It's all right. We just got some back. We're setting off for a gig tonight in Parr Street, so they're just testing the drums. Oh, and he's still flipping doing it.
Tell him.
I wasn't actually playing when we moved in together, but we started the batch of songs that we recorded for 11/11 sort of started in that flat. I remember Keith playing Walking Down That Road, it was called It's Searching for the Light Now. It was a very different song, and he was playing Truth Lies, Truth Lies, which he sort of read, and we were looking into ideas and sharing videos at the beginning of YouTube, so there was lots of things we were looking at, lots of different musicians, sort of thinking about how music had changed with the internet and that, and, you know,
we just started going out gigging as well, just sort of training ground. We just started gigging together because Stu was doing horrible bar jobs and I was just doing the usual cabaret bands that were just around. We get my own thing going, and Stu originally was going to manage us because he's very good with that whole thing, you know, management and sales. He's very good at persuading people to do things.
So how did Gibson get involved with you guys then?
We just dumped again this year. We dumped a video. We'd had a band together that played a cavern. We'd had some success. We played with Bon Jovi through a competition we won at Old Trafford, and everything was very exciting. And then the band just sort of imploded, and it was left with me and Keith. And we started monkeying around with loops because we were into 5 Vans and Yard Burnoff and people like this, DarkFX, these people using it. And we thought we could just keep it to us because we'd been a bit wounded by the whole band thing, put so much energy into it, and then it just going. And we put a video up using a loop for Dance with the Devil, and about 6 weeks, because we were still doing the cavern but with different players. About 6 weeks later, we got thousands of hits. And we got an email, and we had a chat, and then we flew out to Vegas and we played the CES, and then we went on to the guitar shows now and the Music Messer, and we did that for a couple of years. But yeah, that sort of springboarded it really, sort of took it to a point where
we ended up meeting Simon Phillips out of Toto, and he was interested in producing us, and we went to his studio and had a nice chat with him. I met his wife. He's got a supermodel wife who was lovely, and she was doing her own thing, and he wanted us to do this. Well, we did. We ended up letting him use the song, didn't we?
Yeah, I think
I'm not good at being bad. I don't know if they ever used it, but they wanted to use that song that's on this new album. It's an old song, but we put it on the new album that's coming up hopefully in December. So yeah, and we also met through NAMM. It was Eddie Kramer, you know, who did Jimi Hendrix and Led Zeppelin, and he was really interested in producing us, but he just thought it ended up being too costly to do it, so we ended up just doing it ourselves.
Yeah, the problem is when our agent is obviously strong in England and Europe, and the thing with America is it's hard. He obviously has worked on gigs over in America, but the thing is it's a different level of funding and all that. Like, and when Eddie wanted to do the album, he wanted to mix it in LA and find everyone and all the gear, everyone decamping, not being able to gig in between, so it just became, unfortunately, just something we can do. But maybe we'll go back. Maybe we'll do a single or a song with him if we can get out to America. But
hopefully,
it was just exciting, to be honest with you, to go from the band falling apart and then thinking, what do we do? To all of a sudden, you know, the owner of the biggest guitar company in the world inviting us out and meeting all these crazy people.
It was lovely to us and made us feel really at home and welcome. So.
And meeting crazy people like Robbie Krieger from the Doors, and you know, all kinds of Chris Holmes from Wasp. We sat and had pizza with him one night, and we become friends with Anthrax's original lead singer Neil Turbin. He was a lovely guy. So it was cool for us because we'd grown up on all that music, the blues and the rock and roll, and then the heavy metal in our teens. And then sort of you grow out of that because, you know, and you sort of move towards the Led Zeppelin and the Floyd, and you know, the more cultured music that's sort of in, so hair and makeup. But yeah, that was exciting for us because we'd grown up on that, you know, Poison, and
it was just a big turning point for us, wasn't it? It opened us up to new experiences that you know, you can't see anything coming, can you? It just sort of threw us into this whole new world of trade shows.
So let's cut to a visual now. Obviously, you know, we got the album 1111. Let's choose one of the tracks off it that we can cut to a clip of and introduce it for us. Choose a track. And
you pick a song you want them to play then.
This is off our current album 1111, and it is called Rain.
I see it there.
Welcome back to Studio 2 in Liverpool, where I'm still here with Keith and Stu from Xander and the Peace Pirates. So let's talk about Order of Chaos.
The new album.
The new album. So, you know, you've been, I mean, we're in Parr Street.
You're very attentive, aren't you? We've only mentioned that once online.
Yes. Well, you shouldn't even mention it once, should you? If you didn't want people like
no,
me to end up
we do. No, that's cool. No, we do, of course.
So, what do you want to know about Order of Chaos?
I want to know, obviously, we're here in Parr Street. I believe you've done some recording here at Parr Street, and you have a new album, so tell me
that. The new album is actually called Order Out of Chaos. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
No, that's...
I'm glad you told me.
That's what it's called, yeah, so that...
He does know. There's Adam, our drummer, look at him. He's tall, isn't he?
There he is.
Yeah, we recorded the new album here, we tracked it here.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, we tracked it in Parr Street Studio, so...
Yeah, it was a really nice experience. It was very laid back, chilled vibe. But one of the main tracks is Order Out of Chaos, which kind of came about when I was reading a book called The Biggest Secret by David Icke, and I started going through all these realizations, like, as we all do, where all this suffering and problematic behaviour is coming from, and it turns out it's us. It's just us.
We did. I mean, we did, that's we took we were discussing calling the album 12/12 because 12/12, 11/11 was about realising you're on the right path, and then we thought 12/12 because 12/12 means that you're coming to fruition.
You're seeing the fruits of that
awareness,
that path.
But then we thought it was a bit trite just to call it 12/12. So we Order Out of Chaos is the idea that you can gain order from this chaos, but also the chaos has been created out of an order that already existed, and really it's the perception of that draws it down and makes it so. So a lot of the songs are about those ideas, or about...
The song is kind of about war and inner struggle, which is then manifested on... What's manifested on the inner is manifested on the outer. So the main message of our music is that you're only experiencing yourself, so therefore the only one who can come to clarity and kind of peace is that individual, and realise that they are the whole. But that takes a falling away of the old construct of the idea of ourselves. So the message through the whole music is really coming through that, and discussing the nature of our consciousness, and experimenting with, encouraging people to experiment with psychedelics and get to know something a little bit deeper than just the surface, of what we see and perceive.
Yeah, because we talk about it. I think in bands,
We're not encouraging people to take.
No, that's exactly it. I was going to say, 15 years ago, 15 or 20 years ago, if I'd have said to an epileptic here, you take this medicine and you're going to go from having 300 seizures, tiny TIAs a day, to maybe 2, that I'd be laughed at. You're pious, you're insane. Now the NHS is actually prescribing it, and
microdosing is
keeps talking about microdosing. There's more and more indication that low-level microdosing of either psychedelic breaks down these obsessive thought patterns. And we're getting involved with doing a charity thing at the moment for Calm and for mental health awareness, because 84 people a week are killing themselves, and of those, every one of those, 25 more try and are only stopped by frontline service. So you times 84 by 25, and you imagine if there's any more cuts in the government, or there's any more crises happening, you're going to have a number that's out of control.
But these psychedelics like microdosing, psilocybin, DMT, these are an opportunity to see that without making it spiritual, because I think once you make it spiritual or religious or any of those things, it puts it into another little conceptual framework that we think we can understand. But the point is that this mind and body, all of this that we experience ourselves as, is obviously one thing. Is obviously you only ever experience wherever you go. There's no location to you, and I think that these medicines, I think they're medicines, they're shamanic, if you want to call them that, offer that opportunity to see that on a deeper level and go beyond these kind of structures that we've been told are true, we have to do things a certain way, we have to be a certain way. It's very, very...
And the substances that society use defines it. If you think about society uses sugar, which is the biggest drug, alcohol, which numbs the pain of the work you do, caffeine, which keeps you awake to do the work,
Yeah,
and cigarettes, which keeps you nice and dead young, so you don't draw back off the state when you paid all your tax for your lifetime. And if you think our culture is defined by that, you see some of the problems. And I mean, like with Ecstasy came out of 1970s marriage guidance in Sweden. You know, people were finding real results with giving people tiny amounts in a controlled setting and saving relationships and saving families. And if you talk like that, you start to sound like you advocate drug use.
But it's when things are used and not abused. That's the difference. If it's used in a kind of a deepening of a self-realisation of what's causing ourselves to suffer and thus causing others to suffer, then it can only be beneficial. But I think there's a guy called Sam Harris. He wrote a book on free will. We were having a big argument about free will. I'm saying there's no free will. Obviously, we don't know where any of this is coming from. So how could we have free will? We don't know where it's going. So where's the free will? And everything that we do is based on our DNA and our genetics and our experience. So therefore, that straight away limited it down to something very narrow. But what these kind of awakenings, if you like I think these like MDMA and psilocybin and DMT, they can awaken you to something vaster than yourself. That the idea, the limiting sort of idea that we have of ourselves. And Sam Harris talks about MDMA, and he didn't use it recreationally. He talks about using it as to discover something deeper. What was it when he's on MDMA that he's experiencing that makes him feel so loving? And he discovered, like we all do, that he was free of self-centeredness, free of self-concern, free of being focused on this idea that there's someone in here doing something when it's obviously just empty. When you look in your own eyes, you can see there's not really anyone looking back.
So when can the world expect to enjoy the new record? When Christmas
do you think it's time. We're hoping for Christmas time.
Well, we got no free will, so we can't tell you that, man. We can't answer already. There's no. It could never come out. No, we're trying to get it out. We were trying to get it out before Christmas. That's what we were trying to do. But the truth is, because the way that the product's distributed and delivered it does have to go through some sort of label, and we're trying to get the best deal that we agree with. We had a nice deal with V2 that was a partnership, and that built us to the point where we're at now. And I think we just want to build on that, because I think this album's stronger and more defined as. Yeah, it's more the way we want to go,
Yeah, it's got more of a sound to it, more of a unique sound to it, I think.
And there's some great, this time Mike's produced it completely himself. We've done it at home, so we didn't have that thing being
It's
away.
all been engineered and produced by Mike, isn't it?
Yeah, my friends were coming in, with no Chris from the studio. The first ever EP we ever did was with Chris Taylor, who owns Parr Street, so it's sort of just coming home thing, isn't it? And it was nice because you can still go home at night and chill out with your family and have lunch in places, and I think that made it more relaxed. But new year really, unfortunately.
Well, that's okay. It makes 2019 extremely exciting.
There you go.
So how about we hear a new track and you do something with those guitars that have been in your hands and play a song.
This song is called Breathless. It's off our new album.
We bones, but you're worthy.